How's everybody doing? That's Charles, I can come over here. Come on, play, work. Everybody good? Everybody okay? So, Saturday morning, technique session. Now for this session you are going to need, if you didn't see the picture I put up earlier, a book. Maybe some weights, kind of handy. You'll need a kettlebell and a chair. Morning. Why do you need a book? Because we are going to do calf raises. We're going to use a book as a raise to get extra range of movement on your calf raises. It'll make sense when we do it. So, I'm thinking, which is always a dangerous idea, we do 3 minutes, we got 8 exercises to do. We're going to do 3 minutes on each exercise. We're going to get 30 seconds between exercises just to kind of stretch out, work out what the hell we're doing. This is booked as a 45-minute session. It won't actually take us that long. We don't need to go 4 minutes into each of the ones we're doing today. You won't want to do 4 minutes of each of the ones we're doing today. That's more like it. Alright, so we just need to get warmed up. We need to get ready to go. Simple mobility. Open the window. I'll just look at it. Okay. So find yourself a bit of space. I'll give you a second to say hello to everybody. Morning, Judy. Come on, Judy. Yeah, tonic water, neat tonic water, nothing in it, don't get funny ideas. Okay. Actually, we've run out of gin, haven't we? No problem. That's not good. No gin. Alright, so easy mobility, easy movements. We've been doing it all week. We've had a week of weights workouts. My back, upper back is definitely feeling a little bit tight after the stuff we've done the last few days. Let's take the arms across the body. I think it was those 4 minutes of bicep curls into 4 minutes of bent over rows. Angela Dolby Brown. You alright? Have a day off. You tell me that when I turn up for work. Stick your hands back behind your head. Little bend in the knee. Sit forward, stand up. I hope you're joining in now, Ange. Or knowing you. You're just sitting there. Cup of tea. No, sorry. Cup of coffee. Biscuit. Feet up. Chilling out. Is that about right? So keep that little tip forwards going. Wake everything up. Just nice and easy. Give it another 2. And then take it into a couple of shallow squats. Feet just past shoulder width. Feet turned out to the side. Shallow squats. Sit into it. Don't need to get really deep on these. Not yet. Not yet. Now you do. Start sitting lower. Get your hips down nice and low. Need 3 more. On this last one, just squat down, sit down and stay low. Just to let it stretch around the hip, around the lower back. Maybe a little bit of a rock into the movement. And then standing up we get. Alright, shake your legs loose. And then we start on the floor. Good place to start. Lie down. We start with flies, so grab any kind of weight you've got. And let's get this show on the road. So, technique session. Technique of doing flies. We'll break it down. We've done them before, but we'll look at options with it this time. So if you start, arms out to the side. Pick your hands up off the floor, so push your elbows into the ground. That little bend in the elbow is what you keep right the way through. So when you get to the top of the movement, weight above you, you still have that bend in the elbow. Your arms aren't completely straight. Your arms are still curled round. So as you do this movement, we're trying to feel your chest pulling your elbow into the middle. That way it's moving the upper arm. If your chest pulls your elbow into the middle, because of that fixed bend in the arm, everything else literally just slots into place. Your hands will come up together. But rather than trying to feel your hands moving together, or you're moving your arms, try and focus on feeling your chest squeezing up, pulling in, pulling the arms together into the middle of the body. Okay, now as you do this, you could, if you wanted, twist and turn it so that your palm faces up the body, your elbows come in close together. A little bit of a twist, if the elbows come in, just makes the muscles of the chest contract a little bit harder, but still arms bent. So you get a little bit more of a squeeze, a little bit more work by turning the elbows in. Okay. Other options we've got, because we've still got just over a minute to lower here, is you go all the way out, nearly hit the floor, but you go halfway or 3/4 of the way up. Now the difference in doing it here is that if you go full range of movement, you're squeezing, you're working the entire chest. If you go just that bottom range, just off the middle bit, all the way down, up to about halfway, you work more the outside of the chest to give it a more fuller development around the whole muscle. Typically find it's more men that are bothered with that bit than women, but never know. So you take it nice and steady. You can always take it out to the side slowly, lift up fast, so that you've got that work. Slow and controlled. We looked at it last week. When you lengthen the muscle under tension, you go slowly, you make it work harder. There we go. Alright. Weights to the side, 30 seconds, just ease everything off, stretch off slightly if you need to. Next one we're doing is V-sits for your abs, for your core. Now a true full V-sit is a combination of a leg raise and a sit-up, all in one. Not necessarily the easiest thing, and to be honest, I'm probably going to make all kinds of weird shapes and noises and look like I'm dying. But hey, it'll be fun. Let's try it out. So if we break it into sections, I said it's a bit of a crunch or sit-up and a leg raise. So you start with your crunch. You still got your chin off your chest, but we're doing these with your hands out in front. Okay. You can do it with your, for the full V-sit. You start with your hands behind you, and they come over the top. So as your hands come over the top, they'll help you move. Yeah. And then if that was added into a sit-up, you lie down, hands back, you come forward. Bearing in mind, a V-sit, you're not going to get this high. You're going to get at most about 45 degrees, because you end up here. Up in the middle, touching your feet. So, if that's the upper body part of it, the lower body part is a leg raise. Yeah? Picking the legs up, pretty much straight. You could, if you want, squeeze your legs straight to lift them up as you go. You will find with your legs completely straight, it will put a bit of extra pressure on your lower back. So if you've got any back issues, this one can be a little bit awkward. Not uncomfortable, not a real problem. a little bit awkward. So, break it into stages. Start with your leg raise, and then as your legs come up, you start to sit up a little bit. So you end up balanced on the back of your hip, basically balanced on your bum. As your legs come up, your head and shoulders come up, and you reach for your toes. Don't forget to breathe. As you come up, breathe out. It helps just to squeeze and close the abs and the core down. You might only get part way. You might get about there and stop. Well, that's fine. If you can feel it pulling into your tummy, pulling into your abs, it's working, you can do it. So you could just go part way without getting completely off the floor. Other options. Keep your legs up, crunch up, reach for your toes. Now unless you're some kind of Neanderthal where your arms are that long, because they can reach to your feet from here, with your legs dead straight. I'll worry about you. You can only get part way up your leg, but that's okay. 10 seconds. You need your kettlebell on the next one. Yeah, okay, guess what I need to practice? Guess what's going to turn up in workouts more next week? Okay, get your kettlebell. So the next one we're doing, partly based, well, we kind of broke it down into stages yesterday in kettlebell flow. We're going to do the Turkish Get Up. Now we'll start it out without a weight, so we can go through all the stages. Alright, lie yourself back. So we're going to lie back, you're going to put your left hand up in the air above you. And all the time, you've got to keep that hand above you. Okay? Sit yourself up. Still left hand above you. Put your left foot on the floor. Right hand on the floor. Tuck your right leg under your left. And come up to kneeling. From here, you should have your front knee above your ankle, your weight above you, and your right knee is under your right hip. We're then going to stand up. Now you can stand up and go forward, stand up and go backwards, whichever way you prefer. But you've got that weight above you. Yes, I know there's no weight at the minute, we didn't put it in. To reverse it, we do exactly the opposite. We come down onto that right knee. You lean over to put your hand on the floor. Pull your right leg through. Left foot forwards. Lie it down. And then we go again. So we sit up. Lean over. Right leg under. Prop yourself up. Stand it up. Okay. So this is the Turkish Get Up. And it's the reversing it can be one of the hardest parts of it. And then you do obviously the same on the other side. So let's put a weight on it and see what happens. Remember the correct way for picking the kettlebell up when you're lying down. Put it by the side of you, roll to it, grab the horns at the side, the sides of it, and then you can put it in position on the back of your wrist. Okay, so kettlebell above you. Start with the sit up. Should have picked the lighter one to test this out. Right hand at the side, left foot on the floor, right leg under. Come up to kneeling all the time. Keep that weight up and your hand closed around the handle, not open to it. Stand it up, and then we go the other way. Bring it down, lean over, bring your right leg through, whoop, lay it back down, and then bring it down to your chest. And let's change sides. Let's go the other way. See if we can understand it straight away. So it's a sit up. Left hand to the floor, right foot on the floor, left foot, left leg underneath the right. Pop it up, kneeling, stand it up. And you go the other way, so you go down to your left knee, hand on the floor, left foot forwards, lie it down, bring the weight down, roll to your side. To put the weight down, just 4, 3, 2, 1. Turkish Get Up. We will be using that more in sessions. When I teach the kettlebell course, that's one of the technical aspects that we look for with the students and new trainers when they do it. But it's also quite awkward, so don't worry if you didn't get it straight away. Go back through the video, do it again. Okay, bicep curls next. Grab some weights. So bicep curl. Now we all know it goes all the way up and it goes all the way down. So let's give it some variations. Let's give it some options. Get rid of one weight. So, when the arm goes all the way down, the arm straight, the bicep is on full stretch. It starts to work a bit more, okay? Now you can, if you control it, let it travel behind you slightly, because the bicep attaches at the front of your shoulder. So when it attaches at the front of the shoulder, if the arm goes back, the muscle stretches more. Then you can curl forwards, stretch, curl, stretch, curl. Now if you look at most textbooks, people are saying, no, keep your elbow fixed into the side all the time. Anatomy of the bicep, the way it works. It works when you pick your arm forwards as well. It helps to contract and create that motion in the arm. So if it goes full stretch here, and you control it coming forwards, your elbow can go in front of the body and make the bicep work more. Okay? Now, different types of curls. Palm facing down. If your palm faces down, it works the top part of the forearm here. Yeah? Really puts the pressure on the back of the forearm there, just to give you that extra bit of motion, but it creates more development for the bicep into the forearm. It also creates width across the bicep because it works a slightly separate part of the upper arm. Now, we did these ages ago. We put one arm across your body, you put the other elbow tucked in front of it, so your arm is kept in front and your arm is fixed in place. And then you've got a bicep curl from a fixed position. When it goes out here, it can really open, it can really stretch off the bottom of the bicep where it inserts by the elbow. Create that stretch, give it that full curl. When you get tired, you'll have the temptation to only go part way. No fun in that. Unless, for part way, I'm going to change arm now to the other side, you're only doing like the bottom half. If you only curl it to the bottom half and to the mid position, stretch, contract, it stops in the center. The bicep has to pick up all that weight. Anyone remember physics? At its furthest point from a pivot, the weight weighs more than it should, as far as that muscle and that joint is concerned. So, a 5 kilo weight here can be up to 50 kilos of weight and stress on the joint at arm's length. Yeah? Same thing there, 5 kilos. Can put a lot more work just focusing on that midsection. So there you go, variations on bicep curls. Some of these will be cropping up. Other options really would be, instead of curling forwards, we go outside the body, so we get the inner head of the bicep. Right, legs. Jump lunges is one that's been requested a couple of times and I keep avoiding it because I don't like them. It's not about me. So jump lunges, let's break these down. Just start out, make sure your legs are warm and ready and loose. Give me some reverse lunge. You step back into position. So as you're stepping back, front knee above your ankle, back knee steps back nice and low. Okay. Alright, on your next one, step back, stay down. So this is that bottom position that we're going to work from. And it's this little bit of a bounce that we can get in the legs is what we work with. So we've said before that a muscle is a bit like an elastic band. It stretches and it contracts. You make it stretch, it contracts harder, creates a bit more power. That's what we're going to work with here. Jump lunges, you go from a lunge off one leg, and as you come up, you jump, you change, and you land in the other one. So, you can use your arms to give you a little bit of momentum with what you're doing. Just break it into stages. Drop down from that position into the lunge. You push it up. Swing your arms up a little bit to give you the lift and push both feet up on your toes as you go. Quick change, really quick change, to swap the front foot. As you land, straight away bend the knees to lower yourself down. It's bending the knees as you lower. There's the muscle stretch. Catch you, work a little bit harder. So you get this bounce, whoop, from one to the other. Falling over a towel is optional. Now you can do these going sideways as well if you wanted. Jump lunges can also be done without the switch. You can just do it on one side. These don't need to repeat again. So you could just do it on one leg, on one side, fixed. Left foot forwards, right foot back, and move sideways. Do a set one way, then do a set the other. This is also great, doing it this way, to support knee function, knee health, and your ankles as well. Strengthen the ankles because they get used to working sideways while on an impact. Always handy, strengthen your ankles. You can walk better in your heels. Speaking of heels, we're doing calf raises next. This is where your book comes in. Alright. You can also do these when you're bored on the bottom step in the house. Don't forget, all of these things today are in tomorrow's workout. Alright, come on, give me 4, 3, 2, 3 minutes to do calf raises. Here we go. So the essence of a calf raise. Let's move this down a little bit. The essence of the calf raise. Just feet about shoulder width. Go up on your toes. Go back down. Up on your toes. And back down. But if you think about it, when you lift up on your toes and you come back down, we're stopping in the middle of the movement. You go from the floor up. Your ankle is at 90 degrees. The muscle is already partly contracted to keep you standing up. And then you lift, contract it more, then go back to the mid position. We're missing half a movement. And this is where the book comes in. Now you can do this on 2 feet. You can do it one leg at a time if you want, so you can still support yourself against something. And even if you're doing 2 together, it doesn't matter if you've got your hands against the wall for support, or my case rather, fireplace. So you've got your bit of support, so you're nice and stable. I'm going to drop my heels just below the edge of the book and then push up. Being able to drop my heels allows me to get more of a stretch through the calf. Now to get better calf development, this is one of those muscles that is quite resistant to fatigue because we use it all the time when we walk, when we run, when we stand up, when we do anything really. So go slower to get more from this one. Lift over, say the count of 2, pause for the count of 1 or 2, and then slowly lower it back down. Hold that stretch and then go back up. So it's slowly up, pause, slowly down, pause. But you make it work more. Now, if you're going to stand on a book or a raise of some kind, the bigger the raise, the more the drop you can get. If you do this on the bottom step at home, fantastic. If you want to give yourself a real test for intensity, just to see how hard you can actually work, and remind yourself what true intensity is, do it on one leg. on the stair, and you keep going until you cannot move, you can't lift at all off the bottom steps, or off the bottom of that movement, okay? So when you get to that point where all your effort, you can't lift, you can't get anything to do anything, that's when you've worn that muscle out. I warn you now though, as soon as you then put your foot down, you'll suddenly find all that lactic acid, all that burn in the muscles flushes through your leg, and you'll want to fall over in pain. But hey, pleasure pain principle, you've ruined one leg, you then need to go and do the other one. Don't forget to do the other leg. So there's calf raises. Alright. We've got 2 to go. Grab your chair. You can have a sit down now. Yippee! Sit down and relax. Bring your weights with you as well. You could. Hey, why not? Bring your book. It's alright, we're not sitting down and reading it. Too many words in this one for me to read it. I prefer pictures. There was a cat. The cat was red. Red cat? What? Okay, seated calf raise. Another option for working calves and your ankles. Another option, but also a completely separate exercise. We're going to put your weights. Top of your knees, end of your thigh. Feet on your butt, on your raise. Grip your heel, dip your heel. And then up on your toes. Really squeeze when you get to the top. Now, seated calf raise that we're doing here. You could lean on the weight as well if you want to add more weight to it. Seated calf raise. It works a separate part of the calf. The calf is actually made up of 2 main muscles. There are other ones that support it and work through it, but we usually think of 2 main ones. The top one, the muscle that we can see as people's calves, is called the Gastrocnemius. That's the one that we worked on the standing calf raise. The one we're working now is a deeper calf muscle, which gives it more support, more strength, more stability. Sometimes when people say their calves are aching, it can be this muscle that hurts more than the other one. This muscle is called soleus, and it only really activates when the knee is bent. Hence we're doing seated calf raise, so we can get deeper under the calf, deeper into the lower leg, and work other muscles to give more development, more support, more strength, more ability. Okay? So same thing, we're still moving slowly, push up on your toes, drop down, drop your heel, let it stretch through the lower leg, and then push back up, and then drop down, and then push up, and then drop down. Easy. So, seated calf raise. Great way to add in extra work into the lower body. Still trying to get your heels down lower than your toes so you really open that stretch. Okay? This is one way you could focus on finding other things to build up to raise your position. If it came to it, you could do it with your ball of your foot on the edge of your sofa. So your feet are up, and then if you dip your heel, you're still getting that stretch. Really focus on pushing your heel down. Get the stretch so that you can work through. Okay? So we've got 20 seconds to go here. What can I talk about for 20 seconds? I'm going to break you with all of these exercises tomorrow, especially the jump lunges. We're going to come up with loads of different versions of these exercises. Chuck them all together. 2, 1. Alright, 30 seconds to breathe. One last exercise. You don't need weights for this one. Last exercise is dips. Dips. So again, we still need your chair. Make sure it's not going to slide around, it's not going to move, it's not going to run away from you. So, dips. Working the tricep, working the back of the arm. Yeah? Now the joy of dining chairs is they're quite narrow. If you were in a gym, you could do these on a bench, you could go wider if you wanted, to get different angles, different positions. But doing this on a dining chair, narrow position, you basically just got to grab the corners, grab the edges. You bring yourself forwards so your hips are off the seat. Easiest version, with your ankles under your knees. Bend the elbow, drop down low as you're comfortable with, or low as you can, and then push back up. All the time, head up, chest lifted. But the focus is on bending your elbow. A number of times you'll see people doing dips where they do that and they go forwards. Look, there's not a great deal of bend in the elbow there. I wonder where all the work is coming from. The fact that my bum is going nearer to my ankles than the floor. That's when they're using their legs to lift them. And then they wonder why their legs hurt. And their arms don't get any more shapely, any better. So, you focus, down, lift. You try and keep your elbows in close. If they start to flare out, that's fine. You find your comfortable position. But over time, try and squeeze them in so they stay in a straight line behind you. To make it harder, you move your feet further away. But you still dip, you still drop into that same position. By moving the feet further away, there's less support for body weight through the legs, there's more into your upper arms. Okay. You can of course then develop it right the way out. Legs out straight. Straight body, drop your bum back. So you get that stretch. At the bottom of the movement, you push up. All the work is through the back of the arm, through the tricep. So that when you straighten the arm, you get that extra little bit of a kick off the back of it, all the shape, all the bingo wings kick in. Hopefully then they stop waving when you do. If you want to do it with your hands on the side of the chair, not the front, that's fine. It's your comfortable position. And that's all you've got to do really for dips. You work on it. To take it further, to really push your limits, start at the hardest version. When you start to fail and fatigue, bring your feet in a bit closer. When you fail and fatigue, bring your feet in closer. So you keep cutting it back with a little bit less weight, but you can still keep going to up the intensity. And there are your 8 exercises for this week. How are we feeling? Turn down a little bit. Boo, boo, boo. You still in there? You still with me? 8 exercises that we've refined for this week. 8 exercises will be appearing in tomorrow's workout. Yay! So if you're ready, if you're down, stand it up, shake your arms around a little bit, wave them around, shake them loose. Ease the tricep out after that last one. And then take one hand back behind your head, push it back into place. You're welcome. Push it back, a little stretch through the back of the arm here. And then swap it over. Let's get the other hand back. Whoop. So we're stretching off the tricep, which has just done all the work on that one. It also works quite hard on those Turkish Get Up, keeping everything fixed in place. Yes, Judith, great to have you back. Hope you're feeling well. Everything's fixed and sorted and back on track. Let's bring it down, take one arm across the body, quick stretch here. Come on, we know what we're doing for these stretches now. Quick stretch across the body, only a few seconds. And then let's go the other way. So we get these stretches done. Next one, we're going to take hands to the back of the hips, squeeze your elbows in. So tomorrow, 10 o'clock, it's down as a 45-minute session. We might make it just over the half hour again, a bit like this one. Let's take one foot up and back behind you, little bend in the knee. We'll make sure there's enough of a warm-up. Blast through it, make everything work hard. Based on these exercises, really drill them over the weekend, and the knees will start to drip feed into workouts over the coming weeks. Let's change other foot up and back. Rah. So how are you feeling? You okay? Have you got any other exercises you want us to work on in future sessions? Remember, the more you ask about, the more I can tell you about. Bring it down, let's take 1 foot forward, front leg straight, back leg bent. I'm going to follow it. If you don't ask me about stuff, I'm just going to come up with random rubbish and probably bore you with the same stuff over and over and over again. Come on, we've been doing this nearly a year, we can get adventurous now. Bring that foot down, bend your knees, stand it up, other way. Ooh. And now bring your foot down, stand it up, shake your legs loose. And give yourself a round of applause. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you found something useful from this session. If you did, fab. If you didn't, sorry. If you did, tell a friend or somebody. Get them to get involved as well. Right, I've got to go. I've got people to see, video calls and meetings to do. Even on a Saturday, meetings to do on a Saturday. And I'm going to go and plan tomorrow's workout. I will see you all in the morning. Have a great day. Enjoy the sun. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.